Hello, everyone. Welcome to another First Capital show. This is Momo. Today, we've got a familiar face back on the show, Tomek K, the organizer of Bitcoin FilmFest. Last time we spoke, we were still BitGuide, and now we're gearing up for Bitcoin FilmFest 2025 in Warsaw, Poland. Unlike,
Yes, hello Momo. Hi audience.
hey,
I don't know if this was the first time we met online, if it was 21st Capital already. This brand was.
no, it was still BitGuide, and we didn't have many English shows then. But now we do, and we are actually active more on the English side. And the interesting thing about our friendship is that, unlike many Bitcoin friendships, our friendship started in real life. You remember how we met?
Uh,
These are the things that
it was,
only I remember.
I remember that we were. No, I don't.
Yeah, we first met in Bitcoin Conf Prague. I think it was 2023 or
Okay.
so.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I remember. In BTC Prague, we had the booth together with some open source groups from Poland. There was like 8 of us. We chipped in for a booth. Polish Bitcoin Association, Quark, Bitcoin FilmFest, Crypto Steel, and then you came through and you said that, oh, I'm from Poland. I'm not from Poland, but I live in Poznan.
Yeah,
And that's how we met. And actually, in Prague, I met quite a few Bitcoiners at the conference. Then that uh, later that happened that we have some meetups or we meet in Poland.
the thing is that many of the friends that I now go on walks with here in Poznan, they were already in Bitcoin Film Fest, but we didn't meet there. So we had passed by each other.
Yeah,
But
because Bitcoin FilmFest is in Warsaw, right? So for the audience that doesn't know, and this guy is in Poznan. It's another like a third or fourth largest city in Poland. They have not meetups; they have Bitcoin walks. And currently is probably one of the most recurrent Polish Bitcoin Maxi meetups, which
and
I also had the
yesterday,
pleasure to attend one
yes,
time.
yeah, one time we had a walk in the summer, and yesterday we broke our all-time high. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 people and 2 dogs yesterday.
Okay, so this is still easy record to break, right? It's
Yeah,
it's uh, it's not yet impressive, but congrats. That's nice that you guys
it's
have this
like
community.
when Bitcoin was pennies only. So the best is yet to come. All right.
Nice.
Hmm? All right. So tell us about this upcoming Bitcoin Film Fest. I remember the first teaser I saw from you was in Bitcoin Prague, and it was screened between every event. I also had a pass to the conferences, and it was a very courageous teaser and about a very courageous, sensitive topic. Nobody dared to talk about them, and still, people are very cautious to talk about those things, those limitations during the lockdown and all. And you were addressing those. Uh, what is going to happen in this upcoming Bitcoin Film Festival in 2025 in May that I have registered for, and I am looking forward to meet more Bitcoiners, hopefully even see more Bitcoiners from my own city in Warsaw. And also, what are the fun activities that are going on there besides films, and yeah, what are the opportunities for networking?
So we have this. It's a third edition of Bitcoin Film Festival. As the name suggests, we show films, and its initiative, the Bitcoin Film Fest, is like we try to rebuild the Hollywood on the orange pill side of the culture. Mm, Building bridges between the world of cinema and the world of Bitcoin. And there is lots of things going backstage. We build networks of filmmakers. We try to match make them with producers, with sponsors, but also with audience. And the pinnacle of these activities once a year is the festival where this matching also happens and where we present the movies that were released last year. It's a third edition now, but it's not only about films. Because there is lots of things going on in this space, in Bitcoin culture space, Bitcoin films as well, that is not yet released. There are stories, there is music, there are some shorts, YouTubers, video clips that also maybe it's not considered in a classic terms as a cinema, but it's some video art that conveys Bitcoin message. So the event is promoting that there is a manifestation and celebration of the fact that there is Bitcoin culture. Mm, we know this conferences that we met, like BTC Prague or many others. They started with celebrating the protocol and outcomes that Bitcoin as money uh, bring positively to the world. But after 15 years, 16 now of its existence, we all know that there is already something that we can call culture of Bitcoin. We have our own heroes, we have our stories, we have our memes, and we have our artists mm, that put those memes, stories, heroes into some narrative and present them on screen to inspire, to educate, to motivate. So the Bitcoin Film Fest that happens in May 22 to 25 in Warsaw is celebrating that. And of course, as always, such conference is probably even more important part of such thing is not only screening the movies, but networking of people who make them, of people who watch them. Uh, so we try to create the best experience and the best space, the best we can for audience to spend their time with fellow Bitcoiners or not yet Bitcoiners who also are driven by this message that is conveyed with through Bitcoin films. So as regular film festivals, yes, we have pitch stage of competition of upcoming films. There is awards for the best movies. There are movie workshops. There is a visit to a movie studio. But also we do some activities, local activities to visit Warsaw. We organize some parties. On May 22, there will be Bitcoin Pizza Day, the 15th anniversary of this first transaction. Mm, so our goal is to create the best environment, the very cozy and friendly environment for around 200 people to come and meet in the heart of Warsaw, watch some movies, make some friendships, and hope that this culture eventually will become well, maybe mainstream is not a proper word, but that main culture that is driving the world will be we like to call it unfiated. That maybe it's also a message, maybe also topic for another conversation. But uh, many of us start noticing that mm, properly that broken money also influences culture of people, influences what art is being produced, and it influences it in a negative way. So we believe, we hope, we are convinced that Bitcoin fixes it. As Bitcoin fixes many things, we try to prove, but also add our input to that fixing uh, and have some influence over what is being told, uh, what values are being proposed by stories, by movies around Bitcoin, because films about Bitcoin is not just, you know, it is mostly today, at least, documentaries, right? Most of the cinema, most of these movies inside in the Bitcoin space are documentaries. What is Bitcoin? Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? But we want to show, and we are proving this on already third edition of Bitcoin Film Fest and various mini festivals that we organized around the world, that it's not just about it. That that there is a larger stories that doesn't even have to include this decentralized digital currency, but you can call it Bitcoinish. That there is something like Bitcoin culture which doesn't even have to speak about Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin Film Fest, and the third edition comes in May 22 to 25. It happens in Warsaw, in Poland. Whoever is listening to this now, please feel invited and check out our website, bitcoinfilmfest.com, where you can already get early bird tickets to this, and soon we will start releasing uh, interesting information. What specifically will be happening there.
Yeah, in the meantime, actually, good that you reminded me. I will also add the link to the show. Don't know why I didn't prepare it beforehand. Um,
Link in the show notes. Yes.
how is this event, this third edition, different from the other renditions? And I want to know how many submissions you had in other years, and how many submissions are you going to have now? I saw the schedule, and I am not quite sure if it is possible to still. Is there still time to send new projects to you, or is
Oh
it
yes.
closing?
Yes, on the website maybe we could stress it a bit more clearer. There is a button for submissions, and we already had this. It's still early. We just started actually getting the submissions. We didn't even promote it much yet. That hey, send us films, but to my very positive surprise, and it always is a good mess. It's always good to see when somebody who you didn't even know about messages you and asks, "Hey, can I screen some movie? Can I submit something?" We had already in the last 2 weeks, I think 4 people already reached out with such information. We still didn't. We are not live yet on classic legacy cinema festival lists because there is a process. There are websites where like let's call them regular or legacy filmmakers can submit their movies. Once we are there, I'm sure that there will be even more submissions. Last year we were screening 11 titles, I believe, and around 5 shorts. This year we consider more than 20, but it's like the consider, right? So it will be featured, right? At least if there is no like, it's not it doesn't mean that there will be a full 20 movies screened. I guess at the end there will be maybe around 8 or 9, but plus that there is also some books, there are also some shorts, there are also some TV series being produced, or like series mm, being produced that well, they will not take 2 hours to be screened in a film, but at least if we show a trailer of this, and the director of such production would come and tell us what he is working on, this is actually something that we welcome even more than another 90 minutes documentary, because naturally this industry is still nascent. So there is more things, there is more titles, more movies that are being produced that were released, especially released last year, because the movies from 2020, 19, 17, 2021 we've already screened. So this year we are choosing, like last year, the titles that were released from the previous edition till this edition to be proper film festival, and we do it annually. Hopefully there will be more and more titles that were only released this year, right? And so from 2024 and 25, I think there will be, we expect 6 titles, like feature films, that will be finished. There is already 2 or 3 that are. Some are still in post production. But on top of that, you have some animated cartoons, or some shorts, or some TV series that I mentioned. So overall, there will be more than 15 around.
Yeah, you mentioned the pizza day event. I love pizza, but I normally do not eat pizza. But for that day, I am going to make an exception. Last year I did make an exception too, and I'm going to buy the pizza definitely with Bitcoin and take part in that. And this has become a very fun ritual among us Bitcoiners. I remember when you sent me the invitation, you also mentioned that you are going to have 100K party. It was still before we had reached 100K. What
Yes,
are your
100K
feelings
party.
about it?
No, 100K party is something that we
Your audio is lost.
sorry, 100K party is it started as a meme. I think it started with Michael Saylor, right? And we after he mentioned that after 100K he will organize some party, he did. After all, many people started putting their laser eyes, and me and some maxi friends from Poland were like, yeah, we should organize a 100K party. But now we realize that we should celebrate 100M party, because every day there is 100 million satoshi in one bitcoin, and we should celebrate it. So but who knows, maybe the price will go sideways and we could still celebrate 100K of USD. But I think 100 million of satoshi in one bitcoin is still better reason to celebrate, and every day applies.
Mhm. Okay, I don't mind if the price goes sideways, and to be honest, I don't mind it going a bit lower.
Yeah, but it just
So
needs. It's always nice to have another reason to have this celebration, have this event. Last year we had a European halving party. Our Bitcoin Film Fest was exactly at the time of halving, so lots of people came specifically for that reason to celebrate halving. This year there is no halving, but there is Pizza Day. So whoever maybe is not into movies, Bitcoin Pizza Day hopefully is another reason yet to come to Warsaw in May.
I can't think of anyone who's not into pizzas. So I think everyone
Yes,
would
yeah,
love a good
true.
pizza. Even I love pizzas. One
And
of
we
my
have very good
mates.
pizza. Yes, we have a very nice place right next to our cinema. Very lucky, and they accept the Bitcoin. So can't wait that on Thursday before festival we will get full.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be. I'm hopefully going to be there in all the events with my girlfriend, and actually, it's going to be her first Bitcoin event. So I'm really curious to see
Very good
what she
choice.
would think about it. Hmm. Yeah, definitely, definitely. This is fun for both of us. You said that most of the movies are documentaries. We do not mind documentaries. We actually love documentaries. I am one of those guys who easily falls asleep when watching some movies. But if it is a documentary, I can easily go till midnight, even if the next day I have to go to work. I don't know what just gets me when it's a documentary. It's just different. You said that it is not documentary only. You are unfiating the culture. I like that idea. Something that comes to my mind is the lower time preference, but maybe that's not the only aspect. What do you exactly mean by unfiating the culture?
I think that there is not talking about the digital currency on Bitcoin blockchain and what Bitcoin technically is. You can mm, point specific some notions of the culture that are appealing to Bitcoiners, and are for reasons that also discussion about it could take days, are aligned with Bitcoin topos. There is something like Bitcoin ethos, and something like Bitcoin ethos is uh, maybe it's not specifically described by anyone, and also it's not defined, but it's something that I think I followed personally before even I learned about Bitcoin, and many of us did. And this includes some dose of independent thinking, some individualism, some autonomy, um, anti-systemic approach to the world, maybe some story which involves some kind of enlightenment, or presents a battle between romantic battle between individual and society. It's something that is not invented by Bitcoin, but it's something that Bitcoin, through its nature, and it can be because of the lower time preference, because of that Bitcoin conveys. So saying that, you can also say that, well, then there you can say that there are Bitcoin stories or Bitcoin movies that you can call them Bitcoin, and maybe it's not exaggeration, but they don't even have to include Bitcoin in them. And such example that we often bring is Matrix, right? Many people say that, oh, Matrix is a Bitcoin
Yes.
film which exists even before, which was created before even Bitcoin existed. Or other such film would be maybe a Truman Show. Uh,
Oh yeah.
so, and I guess for each, this is still to be defined. I think we still discover, look, right? Bitcoin has only 16 years. So we still kind of together with ecosystem of developers, podcasters, educators, movie makers, storytellers, regular users who uh, exchange posts on Bitcoin netosphere, define what Bitcoin culture is. Mm, and I guess such organization as Bitcoin FilmFest tries to take some lead in this defining. Mm, so yeah, I guess this kind of answers your question, and that it's also not something that mm, we can create. Like it's not something that Bitcoin Film Fest or any other person um, could define himself. We can describe it, maybe what's happening. We can try shaping it by creating the
Yeah.
films that we show at the festival. But it's happening on its own. The culture is something that society discovers, and then we can discuss on podcasts, right? And what it is, uh, it depends on us, right? It depends on people who come to festival and vote some movies out, vote some movies in. But yes, some of these stories, last year, for example, they don't include Bitcoin. Last year we had this movie called Gods of Their Own Religion, which was very influenced by the lockdown and pandemics. It was the movie was supposed to be um, psychological romance, but because the producers were not allowed to shoot in certain places or even continue their work, the creators decided to go a bit different way, and it became some kind of surrealistic Orwellian anti-utopia, where the protagonists are fighting against the virus of mind, as the director described it. And there is no mention of Bitcoin at all. It's not about money, it's not about finances, it's not about technology, but lots of uh, audience that left after watching this movie. We screened it at midnight because it wasn't the film that you could show at 1 p.m. They could feel that, okay, this is something that at least it discusses the topics that we like to discuss in our Bitcoin community, society, right? So, yeah, it's still to be discovered, I guess, what Bitcoin culture is, and then what Bitcoin movies are.
Mhm. Uh, I can't just help but mentioning one of the movies that I recently watched, and it was on one of my night shifts, but it's kept my eyes open. Johnny Mnemonic. It is with
Hmm.
Keanu Reeves, and it's a very interesting movie. You can kind of consider it kind of sci-fi, futuristic movie. That's an interesting one, which doesn't have the same theme as the Truman Show or the Matrix. That you come from another, you realize that what you are experiencing is not the real world, and the real world is something else. But it has an interesting futuristic theme that I would
I'm making a
recommend.
note. This is a title that I forgot kind of and didn't consider it. We are looking for some movies that we will be or the cinema uh, we are hosted by Kinoteka, the central cinema in Warsaw, right in Palace of Culture. So anyone who comes to Warsaw for the festival is first impression is being impressed by the venue that we have. I think it's the best festival venue that you can have in Poland. And we are now kind of discussing what not Bitcoin movies, but like a classic legacy Hollywood movies we could show in the
Yes.
cinema during the festival, just as an addition, a nice to have a nice flavor to whole conference or maybe whole event. Mm, and yeah, we think about Animatrix, we think about Truman Show, we think about Equilibrium, but Johnny Mnemonic is also a nice title to consider.
Nice. All right, and some of the movies that kind of have some kind of films, it's a TV series that have Bitcoin integrated into them, and it's a movie that it's a series that I saw when I was new to Bitcoin back in 2016. It was airing, Mr. Robot. I mean, in
Mhm.
the ending, it didn't end the way I wanted it to end, but it was a kind of good show all the way till the end. I probably would watch it again. That was also an interesting world in which Bitcoin had already become more predominant, and there was a fight between Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and with what other motivations other cryptocurrencies will emerge. Uh, yeah. So, and we discussed the films, and what I want to know is, probably as a person who organizes Bitcoin FilmFest, among so many other activities that I am aware of, um, and you've been active in the libertarian space since maybe 2013 or maybe even earlier. I don't know. I remember some years like that. Uh, as a as an organizer of Bitcoin Film Fest, probably you had a great interest in films, and probably you have interacted with other creators, and now you are interacting with creators who are making Bitcoin movies and Bitcoin films, Bitcoin videos or art. What is different between a creator with Bitcoin mindset who has been orange pilled and has this orange lens and looks at the world through this orange lens, and other creators? What sets them apart? Have you seen any differences?
It's an interesting question. Hmm. No, I don't want to like judge people, right? And try to guess what's in their head, because even if somebody didn't discover it, he very often. I mean, I appreciate anyone who has artistic leaning and does some creations. But what I can say that like Bitcoin artists or people who are into Bitcoin and are content creators stand out with. Was it in the questions that you sent me? I should have.
No, I just
No,
came
that's
up
why
with it.
you surprised me with this. Okay, good.
You
Um,
said that you don't like plans, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
mechanism. I will just go with the flow. So just a friendly conversation.
That's that's interesting one. Would you say that there is something that sets people apart? I don't think so. Even if they are not filmmakers, maybe something that doesn't specifically answer to that question, but is somehow adjacent, is that I can see that content creators are very receptive to the idea of value for value and Bitcoin micropayments. Maybe it doesn't have much to do with that it's not directly connected to the stuff that they create, but the industry that they are in, the content distribution and monetization is very much flowed. Of course, we could say that almost everything that is very well dependent on the fiat financial structures is flawed, but I guess this speaks more to artists and content creators, because if somebody is monetizing their music or videos through Spotify or Netflix or YouTube, they see directly, because they have a bit different way of earning money than people on regular jobs and with salary. So they very much depend on the system that is promoting their stuff, the platforms that are kind of holding their uh, holding them and deciding who to show on the main page, how to monetize you, what content to promote, what not, which very much uh, suppresses the artistic visions. So when somebody who is not even a Bitcoiner mm, mm, learns about the ways that, even if those ways are not super popular, like, I don't know, podcasting 2.0 or this video casting on value for value that platforms like Indie Hub do, where the people who watch the content can directly pay some tips, or they call it boostagrams, or simply pay per watch, pay per view directly to the content creator, bypassing big studios, big monopolistic platforms. mm, they are like, oh, okay, so this can work actually, because before they were, maybe internet gave this promise that filmmakers, podcasters can be decentral, can be reimbursed in a decentralized manner, but internet didn't deliver on this promise. Still, we don't have working micropayments on fiat credit cards, where not much fees are applied, and where everybody can set up a payment gateway. It has to go through a YouTube, through a credit card provider that can very easily ban you, censor you, or shadow ban you, or dictate in indirect ways what content you show or not, which one will get views or not. So this is something that um, I that I can for sure see that there is a relationship between um, creative industry and between Bitcoin, and I think this relationship is surprisingly strong. This bond is this effect is to my surprise, what I was expecting earlier, is stronger than I would anticipate. Like you would think that oh, Bitcoin speaks more to financiers or to programmers, but actually, if you speak to people who are on Wavelake or people who are on Fountain or Indie Hub, they have so much hope into the revolution that Bitcoin brings through this decentralized, peer-to-peer, more democratic ways of monetizing content, mm, that gives me hope for the quality of this content that might happen when actually the world will be more and more Bitcoinized. So this is something that I like looking at. I like discovering these connections. And you guys also, if any of you is creating some music or podcasts, or you know somebody who is doing that, try discovering this relationship, or try talking with artists, musicians, about those nice ways, those nice fixes that Bitcoin brings, and you will see that Bitcoin fixes the culture, or Bitcoin fixes movies or podcasting, not only because of the as some might expect, by being Bitcoin documentary, that oh, this Bitcoin movies are teaching about Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin fixes the infrastructure that this culture lies on. And through this, I guess there is also big potential that such initiatives as Bitcoin FilmFest have to work on, right? So we also show it on Bitcoin FilmFest that Bitcoin exists in cinema on this narrative level, like you can speak about Bitcoin. You can make story about how somebody stole Bitcoin from somebody, and then you can have a crime movie, or you can base your science fiction story in hyper Bitcoinized world, right? So there can be movies about Bitcoin or movies around Bitcoin, but there are movies which are financed with Bitcoin, and we have platforms like Geyser or Angor that already are financing some minor filmmakers. So there is infrastructure and distribution level, where there is platforms like Indie Hub, or there are other value for value startups which try to redefine the ways that the content in this example movies are presented to the audience and how they are paid for. Mm, and this is also like on this narration level, this cultural level that we already shortly discussed, this infrastructural level that Bitcoin influences cinema is yet to be explored. This is something that we are uh, all pioneering. There is not even enough examples to draw strong conclusions, but you can see the trend. So mm, I'm hopeful for this. I see this in effect, and whoever wants to see this happen, because maybe my explanation of this is not yet formulated so clearly as you could see, because this is also not yet clear.
I
But
know I'm following you.
once you see it live, you get what I mean.
Hmm. And yeah, and with the birth of Nostr, we got more and more opportunities to expand this area, and there are more and more content creators joining Nostr, people whose entry into Bitcoin is through Nostr. We were actually we have our podcast on podcasting 2.0. You can boost us. This is not something that I say on every show. I should say that, but yeah, this is an opportunity to say that our show is on Fountain, is on podcasting 2.0, whether with Fountain, Breeze, or any podcasting 2.0 app. You can follow us and zap us, and already people, even without me saying it on every show, this is the first show that I am actually mentioning that people have zapped us, boosted us, and that's really heartwarming, encouraging, and that is really beautiful to see that we are shaping the future and we are in the front seat of making history. We are streaming all our shows on Zapstream, and though this is, a kind of heartbreak that tonight we couldn't, but the encore of this show is going to be on Zapstream. And the problem with Zapstream, we couldn't stream it on Zapstream because of a technical issue, probably on the side of Zapstream. I tried everything. uh, anyway, the problem is going to be solved soon, either by me if it is from my side, or from Zapstream if it is from their side. And we are going to fix this, and it's going to be broadcast on Zapstream too, like any other shows. So we already have a platform for podcasting for our live shows. Indie Hub that you mentioned was new to me. Gazer I have encountered with, but I haven't used. Uh, Wave Lake, of course, I know content creators and musicians who have come to the space through that, and that's really also interesting to see. We are, in fact, making history. And something that I wanted to know, because, in Bitcoin conference Prague, you were the uh, only uh, kind of group with that was active in the area of filmmaking or film screening. And it was to my pleasant surprise that it, being a Polish citizen, look at my skin
Um,
color, you can tell. It was very, to my pleasant surprise, that you were from Poland. Uh, I'm curious, are there other groups that are active in Bitcoin films, but they are from other parts of the world? Or are you
mm,
pioneering in that area too?
I for sure. It's just we are only doing the festival and trying to do some dot matching and networking the industry. Before that, maybe you couldn't even say that there was Bitcoin films industry. And as you were surprised that we are from Poland, most of people were surprised that, oh, there are Bitcoin films. There is some Bitcoin, more than one, and yes, there is even film festival. So being from Poland is probably not the most surprising thing here, but yes, there are groups. Um, I don't think there is. I don't think this space is big enough to have more than one world film festival, right, on Bitcoin. So uh, happily or not happily, there is us that do film festival, but there are a group of filmmakers. There is especially in Canada, for some reason, lots of our filmmakers from our network are from Canada. There is 2 or 3 studios that specialize in content and in producing content, and they are um, aiming to Bitcoiners. There is few YouTubers from there. There is a We have a small Telegram group around 20 people of Hollywood Bitcoiners. There are Bitcoiners who live around LA area, and they already had 1 or 2 meetups, and they sometimes go for a beer to discuss their industry stuff. Mm, there there have been some meetups here and there in the world that were doing film screenings. We've been present on Madeira conference, on Plan B Lugano, on Adopting Bitcoin Salvador, Adopting Bitcoin Cape Town. Now, this weekend, 2 of our teammates are in Sats and Facts in Thailand, on conference there. But this is not like a film initiative. We try to be present there, mm, and by doing screenings of trailers and shorts, bring around people and raise awareness that there is this industry over there. There also has been uh, African Bitcoin film nights. There is a group of Bitcoiners from Kenya and from South Africa that they organized already 4 or 5 film screening meetups. So I think, as for the size uh, of this industry or this niche of Bitcoin culture, it's already a lot. Mm, Now we need more content. Mm, Once there will be more content, I guess more such groups will be, and hopefully Bitcoin Film Fest will stay in center of those, because we are not filmmakers ourselves. Uh, we leave it to who do it better than us, but we organize events quite nicely. We can connect filmmakers with sponsors, and it also happens already quite nicely. So hopefully, this division of labor will only bring nice effects in the future.
And one honorary mention at almost the end of our talk. Marcus asked me to bring this up. What is the hottest satellite event for the honey badgers on this upcoming? So Marcus asking that, I think you know which event I'm talking about.
Guys, if you come to Bitcoin Film Fest, there will be lots of satellite events. Probably we can fit around 4 or 5. We plan to do some yoga workshops, some spiritual and meditation mornings. There will be film workshops. But one of the events that honey badgers, especially people who do not like to be attacked and stand their ground fiercely, will be the workshop on self-defense. Most probably it will happen on Sunday of May 25th, but it's up to our experts who will help us organize it when exactly it will be. So whoever comes to Warsaw for the Film Fest not only can watch films and learn how to defend the culture from the mind virus, but also how to defend themselves on the streets. So quite surprisingly, but not surprisingly, because Bitcoin Film Fest is not just film festival, but there is lots of these different. It's organized by community. So some people come over and hey, we want to do concerts, so we try to help them out and organize satellite event with a concert. And some people are organizing self-defense workshops, and this will happen also at this film fest. I think this is the hottest satellite event for honey badgers.
How to protect your seed phrase against $5
$5,
branch attack.
exactly.
Yeah, and he has passionately shared some of his theoretical defenses, and that's really fascinating. That there goes some theory behind this physical security that he's
Yeah,
so
probably you don't
fascinated
need
about.
to you don't need to use your physical force, but you
Yes.
can outsmart the attacker by showing him some vain wallet or do some multi-sig that it makes it impossible to be stolen from. I don't know. If you want to learn, come over to Bitcoin Film Fest.
Yeah, beautiful. So, any concluding comments, Tomek?
What can I say more than invite? I hope that this already lured some people into checking our website. This website is also still evolving. There is still not that much info being sold. That's why we are still having the early birds tickets. Quite cheap for 55 euros. You can get entrance to all of the films and satellite events. In a month, we will release more tiers of standard tickets and VIP tickets, which will be more expensive to cover costs of such events. So if you guys are sure that you want to come, just go to bitcoinfilmfest.com, get your ticket, pay with sats, and see you in Warsaw.
Yeah, I'm proud to be one of the early birds. Thank you,
Oh
Tomek, for
yes, you
coming
were you
on.
were you were if probably the first or second person that booked tickets. Thank you for
Second
that.
and third person, in fact. Yeah.
Nice.
hmm Okay. Thank you for being with us, all our
Yeah, thank you
great
for the
audience, and
invitation. Thank you for anyone
thank
who stayed with us. Guys, hope you watch some good movies in your life. There is not enough time to watch shitty movies, so
definitely.
we also try to take care of that at the film festival.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. See you hopefully in Bitcoin Film Fest.
Nice. So what is this 20